Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. In today's proceedings, an individual facing significant mental health challenges is before the court as decisions are made about his care. After struggling with behavioral issues, he was discharged from a state facility and placed in jail. His guardian, who's been overseeing his care, is moving out of state. The court now faces the difficult task of figuring out his next steps, especially as finding the right care and placement has proven to be a challenge. Let's see how the judge handles this delicate situation.
All right, and we have someone on Zoom that was interested in this case. Is that right? Ma'am, if you're on Zoom, if you could please turn on your video so that we know that you're there and tell us that you're there. And I believe it's Ms. Holt. Perfect. Is that you, Ms. Holt?
This is me, Rebecca Veitholt. I'm the guardian for Jeremiah, and I'm residing in Orlando.
Good morning, Ms. Holt.
Good morning.
A lot of people don't know that the state of Florida has 2 time zones. It's always a shock to most people.
Yeah, well, I wasn't thinking about that. I'm sorry.
Yep. No, you're fine. When you cross the Chattahoochee River, right?
That's right.
When you cross the Chattahoochee River, you're in the central time zone west of Tallahassee. So, all right, Mr. Roberts, Mr. Gill, I'm happy to hear any concerns and I'm happy to troubleshoot this case.
Good morning, Jeremiah. How are you?
Good morning, John.
Your Honor, I've been in touch with Ms. Holt. Ms. Holt had sent me an email this morning that I've shared with the court and with the state of outlining what her concerns are. Mr. Alfez has taken his test as far as competency go, and they've filed a report with a recommendation that I provided to Ms. Holt and to the court. And so basically going to have to determine what to do with Mr. Alfez because he's not competent to proceed. But I don't believe they want him to remain in the state hospital or the jail doesn't want him to remain up there. So I'll just like to hear from Ms. Holt about any concerns that she has as she's his guardian. And Ms. Holt, I believe you told me that you're switching gears and you're not going to be in this role much longer. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. I'm in the process of getting out of guardianship as my husband is getting ready to retire and we intend to leave the state.
Understood. So let me get this clear, counsels. This person was an APD client. Ms. Holt, do you agree before he was arrested?
Yes. He was in a group home.
In the past, I mean, group home is a least restrictive means, but APD has other facilities. They have the Sunland facility, they have DDDP, they have other facilities that aren't group homes. Counsels in the past, when we have people that are incompetent that get charges from APD, we simply release them back to APD and require more secure placement because of the outbursts and so forth. Guys, I need whoever to turn that off, please. Why couldn't we do something along those lines here?
That's what the state would be requesting, Your Honor, some type of placement with APD.
Ms. Holt, you told me in the past that you checked with hundreds of group homes in the state and you've not been able to find any that would accept Mr. Alfez back. Is that correct?
That's correct. A couple of years ago, before he went into jail there in Jackson County, he was admitted to a group home up there that was intensive behavior and they simply could not control him. And we had exhausted about 300 or so facilities that were intensive behavior from Orlando to Miami. And finally, the location there in Jackson County was kind of our last ditch attempt to find someone to take Jeremiah. And he did not like it there because there was no internet access and he spends quite a bit of time on his tablet and he was rebelling and ended up getting arrested and put in jail there in Jackson County, going through the 3DP program. We had a care management meeting with the 3DP program last Thursday where they told me he had fallen from level 4 down to level 1 and would have to continue working to get himself back up to a level 4. And the very next day, they discharged him back to the jail without even really notifying me that anything was going on. So I was caught a bit off guard.
Explain to me, Ms. Holt, about that. When did he go to the DDDP and when was he sent back to this jail? So
He went to the DDP about 2 years ago. He was coming up on his 2-year window, and he was released when, John, Thursday or Friday last week?
I did an order to transport. I think the court signed it. He's been at the jail not very long. Is that right, Steve?
Yeah,
so
just
we got
over
him
the
back from
weekend.
DDDP. Why?
Based on the
Because-
recommendation of that last order, they advised me that they wanted me to do a transport order, bring him back before the court to address
To address what?
his status and where he's.
I have
gonna
no
go.
internet. Can you get Chris? I've now no ability to. So Alphys was among the ones that we already sent back to APD. This was the ones that happened several years back. Okay, I'm with you. I just can't pull them up. Is the state going to be seeking civil commitment? I mean, he's already an APD client. He's already incompetent. I don't understand what we're doing in state court. I mean, APD just has to take responsibility for him and find a placement, whatever placement they deem appropriate, right? Ms. Holt, what's the issue?
I don't think that they can find any place for him, and I
But
am
that's
not
their
familiar.
responsibility. Don't you agree? They
I
have to
agree.
figure this out. They are
I
APD.
agree. I'm not 100% sure they agree.
All right. Next time, tell me, because I didn't realize this was APD, because APD has to take responsibility for these. We're not, this isn't something where they need to be in the jail. He is an APD client. This isn't competency restoration. He's incompetent and won't ever be restored. He's already been determined, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
He has been
There was a-
determined incapacitated, and he is in the
And
process.
non-restorable?
Right. He's in the
Okay.
process of being reviewed by the North Office of Public and Professional Guardians, and they're looking at bringing him into their fold. And I've received a couple e-service notifications over the last few weeks where they are asking for a 3-person evaluation or examining committee members to evaluate Jeremiah for incapacity, which I don't understand why that has to happen a second time when it's already happened, but I'm assuming it must be part of their protocol in order to bring him in North Office. I'm not sure.
We need to get Waylon Lewis in on this. When can we have a hearing? And he's going back to APD in the interim, okay? So I need an order transporting him back, hopefully today. Because the jail isn't the appropriate place. He's already an APD client. He's non-restorable. What's my deal with my computer? Okay. Yeah, I got no internet. I don't know what it is. Because that's what we need to do. And he's already a client. He needs to be, APD's got to find a place for him. It's not connecting. So I don't have internet. I checked the back of this, Chris.
There, that should work.
There it is. There it went. I just wasn't connecting because this is all now.
Yeah, there's pins on this one that need to be replaced probably. There it goes.
This thing,
This one.
do you think we can replace it?
Well, I'm sure it probably wasn't connected all the way in. Just had to-
Gotcha. Thank you. Appreciate you. And we can do a call with Waylon, because Waylon's great and he'll help us, point us in the right direction. So do you guys want to do this at the motion day? Can you do it on the motion day?
What is that date?
What is that date, ladies? And it's in the morning, correct?
I've got a final hearing from 9 to 10. It's by Zoom, so depending on what time.
It's,
on
we
the
start
default
at
with you.
9, huh?
It's with you from 9 to 10 on the default.
No, because I have court at,
I'm
all
sorry,
day.
it's with the magistrate.
yeah, I was gonna say it's, because I've got BOPs. Why don't we try for 8:30? Jeannie, can you guys do that? Janae, Lindsay, can you guys do that? 8:30? Can the state do that? 8:30 with Alphys. Let's get Waylon Lewis on. Do you know how to reach him? I'll sit. You've got his number, and then I will also send you his email. So Robert's Law Firm.
Yes, ma'am, that's fine.
There was orders that we did in this case way back when, conditionally releasing. And so the order transporting him back should just be something similar and saying, and we have a follow-up hearing and we're going to notify the APD attorney and that will be scheduled for 8:30, February 6th. Hopefully we'll be done well in advance of 9 so that then you can do the hearing. Will that work?
Yes, ma'am. Just have Bree do an order directing the sheriff's department, pick them up from the.
I
jail,
want her to
take 'em back.
copy my order from a couple years ago,
Okay.
which is what, it's either my order or Wade Mercer's order. We both handled several of these. Basically, what happened a couple of years ago is there were numerous APD clients charged criminally. And we realized all of these people are incompetent. They are APD's clients, and APD is to place them wherever it is more appropriate. If he's in a group home and that's not working, then they need to find a different placement. And so we basically sent them back to APD because the court felt that it was their responsibility because they're APD clients. We can't just turn them loose, right? To find an appropriate placement. I think that's their charge, but I'm happy to hear what APD has to say about it.
Okay.
So I want her to use that go by as a go by and say, look, conditionally released back to APD pending these charges. And then we'll figure it out before the February 6th.
Okay.
Okay. Ms. Holt, additional suggestions since you work in this world and we don't as much as you.
It's been a long road with Jeremiah, and he's been Jeremiah. He doesn't like where he is, and he shows some pretty naughty behaviors there. Like I said before, we worked with APD for a very long time to try and find some place that would take him in intensive behavior. And I can't recall the name of the place that he was at when he was up there, but Turkey Run, I think, is something, either where it was located or whatever. But they were really, at the time, it felt like they were our last ditch attempt to try and find somebody that would accept him. And I don't know where to go from here. This is an absolute conundrum for me and for Jeremiah, because it's not fair, but when he's out of control, it's terrifying. And I worry for people's safety.
Sure. Does Jeremiah want to say
Jeremiah,
something?
you want to say something, Jeremiah?
Yes. What about Sunland?
Yeah, so Jeremiah, those are all things that we may consider. Whether we'll figure all that out, so the way I understand, APD cannot keep someone in a secure placement if they were incompetent to proceed and the original charge, they can't keep them more than the amount of time for the original charge. So if it's a third degree, they can't keep them in the secure for more than 5, but they can keep them in non-secure because they're APD clients. So yeah, we just have to figure all that out. And I think Wayland can really bring some light to this. Ms. Blunt, Ms. Holt, have you ever been in contact with Wayland Lewis?
No, this is the first I've heard his name.
Yeah, he's a local APD attorney, and he's pretty good, really good. And I think he might be able to help us navigate some of the systems. So let's get him on the line. But in the meantime, the appropriate placement for Jeremiah is back at APD. So let's transport him back. Jeremiah, behave, okay? Don't do anything silly.
Stupid?
Don't do anything stupid, and listen to all instruction, okay? And we're gonna try to get you somewhere where you are safe and happy, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so behave.
I love you, Becky.
Love you too, Jaybird.
All right.
How about me, Jeremiah?
Well, he loves you too, John.
All right. All right, so let's do that.
After thoughtful consideration, the judge made the decision to return him to the Agency for Persons with Disabilities for further evaluation and placement, and hopefully finding a long-term solution. As the guardian who clearly cares deeply about him transitions out of her role, the question remains, who's now going to step in to advocate for him and make sure he's cared for properly? And how long will it take for a lasting solution to be found? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more gripping courtroom moments. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.